Welcome to another episode of The Final Takeaway. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet and join our community of engaging fans and followers. We have some breaking developments regarding none other than Nicolas Maduro, now called Venezuela's dictator. The United States has seized a plane Maduro uses for official duties as the situation intensifies following the presidential elections held at the end of last July. This is the same plane Maduro used to travel to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to have peace talks with Guyana's President Irfan Ali regarding Maduro's threats to annex Essequibo. News of the bold move by the United States went viral last evening as Venezuela remains divided over who won the elections. Now, this isn't just any plane. The plane seized is said to be the equivalent of U.S. Air Force One, which the United States president travels on for official duties. According to the Associated Press, CNN, and other news agencies, the U.S. government confiscated the luxury jet, a Dassault Falcon 900EX, due to sanction violations. Those following the news may know the U.S. recently lifted sanctions placed on Venezuela, which allows the country a greater ability to sell its oil and transact other transnational business. According to press statements by U.S. officials, the way the plane was purchased made the transaction illegal. The said transaction is therefore, quote, in violation of sanctions and export control laws, and that quotation is coming from the Associated Press, releasing a statement, an article actually on this airplane seizure. An investigation discovered that the plane was purchased under a transaction that goes against an executive order. The order bars US persons from doing business with representatives of Maduro's government. In short, the aircraft was illegally acquired on behalf of Nicolas Maduro. So here's what really went down, according to the reports. Officials say sometime back in 2022 to 2023, a person or persons associated with Maduro purchased a plane costing $13 million from a company in Florida. I'm thinking that's 13 million US dollars. They exported the plane from the US to Venezuela through the Caribbean. The problem is a bogus company, a fake company, also called a shell company, was used to hide their involvement in the transaction. The US considers this as illegally buying and smuggling an aircraft out of the US to Venezuela to be used by quote unquote Maduro and his cronies. Officials took the aircraft to the Dominican Republic and transferred it into the custody of federal officials in Florida sometime yesterday. The Venezuelan government responded to the seizure, calling it a criminal act of piracy by the United States. Besides clamping down on Maduro's ability to travel, the US has a vested interest in Venezuela having a democratic president who it can work with in the interest of both countries and the wider regions. One of the biggest issues is trying to curb illegal immigration by Venezuelans to the United States. On top of that, Guyana is also faced with droves of Venezuelans illegally crossing the Venezuelan border to Guyana. Illegal immigration is a huge issue because of different factors, including the fact that it puts a strain on the country's resources that may already be limited for its own citizens and residents who are legally living there. And yes, the Guyana government, Essequibo residents, and other stakeholders may feel relieved having a properly elected democratic president who will respect its sovereign rights and control of Essequibo. During Maduro vows he will annex Essequibo and make it a Venezuelan state. It is widely believed he revived the border controversy with Guyana to appease voters and earn their votes. Needless to say, the situation looks grim right now in the context of a legitimate Venezuelan president. Dictator Maduro unilaterally positioned himself back in power following the elections held on July 28th. It's been over a month, guys, since the election, which resulted in widespread protests and upheavals in Venezuela. You may know this if you've been following the news there. Electoral authorities loyal to Maduro declared him the winner of the elections without providing a shred of evidence to support their claim. The country's Supreme Court also recently certified the election results in favor of Maduro. The lack of transparency led to international outcry and condemnation, with many countries, including the US, refusing to accept Maduro as a legitimately elected president. Voting records show the opposition party, led by Edmundo Gonzalez, is the true winner of the presidential race. According to reports, the opposition secured over 80% of votes tally sheets, showing Maduro lost bigly, as Donald Trump would say. In fact, Edmundo Gonzalez reportedly won by a landslide 2-1 margin against Maduro. Overnight, a warrant has been issued for Gonzalez's arrest as part of a criminal investigation into the results of the disputed July election. He is accused of falsifying election documents, among other things. Going back to the seizure of the airplane, this isn't the first time the US carried out sanctions against Venezuelan planes. Dozens of Venezuelan registered planes have been sanctioned in unrelated matters. And one more thing, did you know the US once issued a $15 million bounty for the arrest of Maduro? They sure did. Prosecutors still hope to have him brought to the US to face federal drug trafficking charges in New York. Well, folks, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Be good and stay safe. See you in the next video.